Take it away.
Right. Hi, good evening, good late afternoon, everyone. Very nice to be here today, and very nice meeting Eric, Lennise, and also Tommy. I think I haven't met any of you personally before, so nice meeting everyone here. And to everyone tuning in, thanks for staying until today, until this hour. So it's raining a bit here, so if at any time you can't hear me, just let me know. I will shout louder. Yeah. So today we are on this topic, the final panel discussion on the F&B industry, let's go digital. And I believe that in the last year, a lot of businesses have gone digital, including a lot of F&B businesses. And from being pushed by the pandemic to jump onto digitalization, a lot of companies, especially the smaller ones, have struggled a lot, especially with misconception like, oh, it's so expensive to go digital. I don't have a CTO, what do I do? I don't know IT, what do I do? But the truth is, it's actually not as hard as we thought, with a lot of players out there like Dropee, like EasyStore that is helping us. So today we are happy to have Lennise, Tommy, and Eric with us. And before we start going into the questions, can we have a quick 1-minute intro from all the speakers so that everyone can get to know us a bit more? So Lennise, would you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I think first off, thanks to the organizing committee for actually having me here today, right? So basically, I'm Lennise. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Dropee. What we do here is that we actually develop B2B e-commerce marketplace solutions where we help make wholesale and trading easy. So we work together with a lot of distributors and brands to digitize their end-to-end operations, especially when it's dealing with B2B trade, to make sure that it is simple, intuitive, and most importantly, mobile. So happy to share my experiences throughout this pandemic with you guys. Excited to answer any questions. I'm sure Eric and Tommy, you have heaps of experience to share. And even Suzanne, feel free to chime in as well, right? I see Picha Eats doing awesome, throughout this whole period. So excited to be here.
Thank you. Thanks, Lennise. What about you, Tommy?
Hi everyone. I like your statement of many people are being pushed to digital marketing. I was one of the person who was being pushed to F&B, and my core business was Everybody Love to Go, which is an outbound tour agency. I run a tour agency. I travel many countries within a year. So it's because of the pandemic. So I have to force myself to turn into F&B. And hopefully I can make a living, but things go very well. And for the past 9 months that with my little business that we could see a brightness. Okay, so that is where we are. So later I will have more to share.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tommy. Eric, nice to meet you. Would you like to introduce yourself? I think you are muted. All right, we can't hear Eric. That's the new issue with the new norm as well.
Yes. It's like charades, Eric can now I am Eric.
Hey, Eric, why don't you just exit and come back in? Maybe that might help.
Yeah.
Yeah, till then we'll ASL everything. I am.
All right, we'll wait for Eric to join back in. Then Eric can introduce himself to all of us. Then I think I'll go first then. My name is Suzanne. I'm one of the co-founders for Picha Eats, and we've been running a food business for the past 5 years. And due to the pandemic, we have been kind of pushed to shift towards B2C as well, which is very much on digital, because previously we were mainly on B2B buffet catering. So digital marketing wasn't like the key thing for us. So thanks to the pandemic, we have to move towards more digitalization, which is a good push, I would say. And yeah, very glad to be moderating this session and learning from everyone today. Eric is back.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey,
yeah.
right.
The mic is good.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Thank God. Right. So I guess the confident something. Right. So very short introduction, and yeah, thanks. And very nice to meet all of you, Suzanne, Tommy, as well as Lennise. So I'm sure you guys are very expert in industry players around here. And just a little bit about myself, I'm actually a marketing executive in EasyStore. So what we really do is that we actually provide centralized solutions for businesses to go online, right? So we were once an online store builder previously, but then during the pandemic, we see that a lot of demands from traditional business as well as a lot of other businesses are suffering to sustain or even to survive during the pandemic, right? So that's why we actually transformed to providing multiple solutions, multiple channel solutions for merchants, for sellers like Tommy, to actually go online much more easier to expose the products and all, and to actually make it much more easier for them to operate and to get more sales as well. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. And as we were discussing earlier, 2020 has been a huge year for many small and medium enterprises. And according to MDEC, right, 54% of SMEs actually embark on their digital journey in 2020 alone, and that's a huge number. About more than half of them have gone digital because of the pandemic. So in your respective area of work in Dropee, EasyStore, and also for Tommy's special home business, what are some of the significant digital trends that you have observed in the F&B field just last year alone, thanks to the pandemic? So Lennise can go first.
Yeah, I see like one of the more important things, at least like the problems that F&B businesses were looking into was to minimize food wastage and also food production. Now, I believe all of us knew the struggles when the first lockdown happened, right? All of us had to pre-purchase stock up our pantries, toilet paper, all these kind of stuff, right? So, when the first lockdown actually happened, this impacted a lot of the distribution side, especially from the producers, the farmers, and the fishermen, to be able to actually link up and then transport their goods, their produce to those retail outlets, right? So be it whether it's pasar malam, pasar pagi, or even like your normal cafes and F&B store, right? There was a gap in terms of how these produce were being distributed out. So when they were looking for a solution, especially implementing a digital solution, the goal was to actually optimize that, try to figure out how to actually garner that demand and supply, so to make sure that the food wastage and the production is kept to the minimal. So yeah, that was interesting.
All right, so it's a sudden disruption to the usual trend of food supply that no one was kind of like expecting.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what Lennise observed. What about Eric in your area?
All right, so basically, I think it's pretty obvious that during the pandemic as well, a lot of F&B, let's say for restaurants, that they are more reliance on deliveries, right? Like they are more reliance on Grab, Foodpanda to actually meet the deliveries, because all of us we couldn't really dine in anywhere, right? We can just take away or just order food online. So that's why we actually see a lot of not only sellers but also like consumers like us actually adopting to digitalization, right? And also from that, sellers also try to opt into more digital solutions like ordering system, correct? So one of the very good example is that one of the lunch places that I went, which is the King Bistro. So what they do is that before they actually before the pandemic, they actually offered like very catalog menu, right? So right now they're actually moving on to giving out QR code menu. So this is one of the trends that I see a lot of restaurants, especially like F&B businesses, right? They're actually adopting to this, kind of digital solutions to ease not only for the businesses but also for the customers to place an order online as well. So that's why in EasyStore we also come out like WhatsApp order form to actually provide such a seamless way for their customers, for F&B sellers to actually place on a much more easier via conversation messenger apps like WhatsApp.
I see. Yeah, I think that's a very true point where a lot of consumer has also gone digital. Like I think one very interesting trend that I observed is that during my birthday earlier this year, I got the most present ever because everyone's just like grabbing cakes over, because previously I have never received so many things before. But I think with the new norm, when someone saw, oh, it's your birthday on Instagram, and they're like, oh, let's just grab a gift over. So I think that has completely changed human behavior, and that was very interesting to see. So for Tommy, what about
that,
yes?
right? Or you just happen to make so much more friends during the pandemic?
No, same amount of friends. It's just last time we used to have to like meet face to face, but now just grab something over. So that was really interesting to see. Yeah, so for Tommy, your journey has been an interesting one. You went on F&B because of the pandemic. So what were some of your what were some of the trends that you actually experienced from this?
I would say two major observations that I found out a year ago and compared to now. If you are driving on the street, or you so happen to stop by the traffic lights, you look at your left and right, you tend to see many orange bikes, green bikes, and pink bikes around you. So these are the people actually they are transporting food from one place to another.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one major observation I noticed. The secondly, if you turn on the Facebook, you will notice many people are selling food F&B product via Facebook. This is what you will seldom see a year ago, and especially seafood, veg, and all kinds of food stuff. So this is two major things that I noticed. And then why many people, just like as you mentioned, 54% embark on the F&B business. It could be people perception that, okay, everybody has to eat, okay? And as long as I cook something that majority people loves it, then I will have my market, I can make a living. So that is what I had. And I came from a background that I didn't cook, and my wife also didn't cook. Both of us did not know how to cook. We just came back home and just sit down and makan. But how could we embark on this business? Actually, we really were pushed into a business. And for your information, the business that I'm in, you will be very, very surprised, which is a sambal petai business that I'm in. Okay, and why sambal petai business? You will notice that during the MCO, a lot of people surfing from the phone and ordering food. I also noticed, well, how come petai, when somebody place a post something on the Facebook for petai, and many people love to buy it. Then I was thinking, if I can make a ready-made sambal with the petai, could it be a market? So that's how they trigger my mind or trigger our mind to risk on this business. Finally, it ends up to be correct.
So the sambal petai business was a surprise for you that it has such a huge market.
Yeah, if you want to see my result, I think Eric can see my records. I think we did well.
Oh, that's good. That's very interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so those are some of the trends that we observe, and I think another interesting fact is that a lot of people have actually gone into experiencing digital shopping for the first time last year as well. Like for example, my parents discovered the joy of shopping on Shopee for the first time last year, and it just never stopped from there onwards. So those are really things that I think the pandemic has pushed us to progress in some way. So I think today's session, hopefully we are able to help any business owners here who are thinking to go digital to debunk some of your misconception that digitalization is difficult. So we have the experts here to share with you that it's actually not, and there's a lot of help out there for all the F&B players. So right now I have a question for Lennise. So as the pandemic hit, Dropee comes in. I saw a few articles that Dropee comes in to provide a solution for wholesale businesses that are struggling in adapting to the new normal, especially the traditional businesses who are lacking of online experience. So from the whole of last year, what are some of the common misconceptions that businesses have towards digitalizing prior to approaching Dropee?
Yeah, I think
your top
the most
observation.
obvious one, right, would be cost.
Mm.
Right? When we're talking to actually 90% of the our clients, right, our customers that we talk to prior for them before they actually use our technology, before they use Dropee, most of them were exposed to solutions when it comes to digital transformation. Either they need to subscribe to ERP solutions like Oracle or SAP, which could cost them like at least hundreds of thousands to up to millions to implement, or they have to build and customize their own solution, which also takes a heaps amount of knowledge for them to understand how to actually implement the right product at the right segment of their business. So for them, they thought that not only cost is an issue, right? Second would be the knowledge and upskilling their team, ensuring that they are prepared. Their teams are prepared to actually embrace this digital transformation. Now, these common misconceptions here are often debunked easily when we show them how the digital implementation and transformation to businesses can actually be done in a very fast, simple, and easy way. Just because our solution here at Dropee, very similar to EasyStore as well, is off the shelf, right? Sure, there are rooms for customizations and whatnot, but generally deploying our solutions is an easy get-go because it is off the shelf. We can implement, and we have had multiple practices with multiple clients within our industry. So the key goal for us when we talk about trying to make wholesale easy, right, is the very first thing is exactly what Eric says for FME businesses, right? For B2C is digitizing the catalog, that menu. For us is for when we work together with traders and wholesalers, digitizing their offline catalog. In pandemic, right, your offline sales team cannot go one by one, door to door service a customer. It's very difficult. And there's a lot of SOPs involved and licensings that they need to approve. So what we did was that we made it easy for them to connect with their customers, their existing offline retail customers, through our solution. So we are digitizing the whole B2B catalogs so that they're able to reach out to them and place orders online. So rolling that out was a matter of hours only, just like, or even some of them who have already have prepared their digital catalog, minutes, plug and play, register, sign up, done. So it's as easy as one to trailer. And I think I want to share with all of you here, like, implementations for whether it's B2B or B2C can be affordable, fast, and simple.
Nice. Do you have any success stories that you can share with us?
Yeah. Throughout the pandemic, I can't name names, but you guys just figure it out yourself, right? So we've actually worked together with one of the largest tobacco companies, right? So they're servicing more than 30,000, 40,000 customers. All of them are very small micro businesses that's offline and whatnot. So when they first roll out with us, they needed to actually do so within a matter of less than a week. In fact, better if it's a few days. So because it was there weren't many customizations. It was just pretty much off the shelf. I just want to roll it out, right? Within a period of 3 months, they started seeing that their sales revenue actually have been back or hit the same numbers as pre-COVID period. And in fact, another 3 months after that, they started seeing an increase of 20% towards their sales revenue, just because they're able to engage with their customers online. And the cost saved, right, from their offline sales team, instead of visiting door to door, you are able to optimize that process right now.
Wow. So it doesn't just bring additional sales, it also reduces costs just by being on digital.
It's essentially you are retaining and delighting your customers in a very different way. Not purely online, but you're merging those two online and offline experience together. So that's the aim and that's the goal. And I do foresee that, moving forward in the next many years to come, right? This is how businesses will be trading. And this is a new form of them actually managing their customers as well.
Nice. And just wondering, curious, when the SOP kind of reopens a bit and people start going out again last year, do you see a change in trend, or was it still going up?
It was still going up, but they were a bit smarter. So essentially, your engagement-wise, how you manage your customers, how do you customize your marketings, your promotions and whatnot, it became more targeted, mainly because of now you have deeper insights on what your customer profiling is and what do they want. So when we work with these distributors and wholesalers, and when it became RMCO, right? Their sales team is able to visit store to store already, but now they are equipped with their mobile app, their sales agent app, with information of their customers before they go to visit. So they are able to understand what are the customer profiling, what are their top selling products, what are the compatible products to bundle together. So previously, before this, it was just gut feeling. I think I can sell this. I think, because margins is better for me in this, I want to push this product. Now it's a smarter way of engaging your customers.
So those are kind of like the unplanned benefit of digitalization, where initially it was for sales and for sustainability, and to be frank, it was for survival. But after that, we will see that there was a lot of unplanned benefit that come along with it. So that's really great.
Correct.
Right. Thank you, Lennise. So moving on to Eric, for EasyStore, with a platform like EasyStore that allows businesses to manage multiple online sales channel, that really makes things very easy. And how has it changed the game for F&B players based on the brands that has been coming to you?
Right. So okay. So before I actually jump in, I just want to like refrain back from what Lennise said about debunking on the misconception of going digital, right? So we actually have the same goal like with Dropee as well, where we actually want to make everything easier for the sellers out there as well, right? So one of the very, very good concerns that most of the sellers out there is that the cost, of course, and second of all is the technical skills, right? So basically, like as sellers, like a traditional sellers, maybe like Tommy, right? So whenever we want to go digital, we would think about do I need to hire someone like programmer or someone who have coding knowledge to actually help me to build something this. And after building this one, how much do I have to pay for it, right? So basically what we do is that we help to, we handle all of the technical difficulties, right? The maintenance, everything. So you don't have to hire anyone to actually do it for you. And in terms of the pricing, we actually run on subscription prices, which are much, much lower than you actually thought it was, right? So in terms of like, back to the questions, like how we actually help is that it really depends on, which stage of the business that you're currently in, right, as a seller. So if you're like big brands like McDonald's, like KFC, then that is a whole other story, right? But like what we do is that we encourage like SME or F&B businesses is to actually focus more on growing your awareness, growing your exposures, letting people know about you, make your products available in each and every consumer, each and every customers out there, no matter what channel they are buying from, right? So this is one of the way that we actually encourage most of the SME actually do it. And that's why we actually offer as, there's multiple ways for you to do that, to get exposure. That's why we come up with a multiple sales channel platform for you to handle all of this as well, right? And a very good example is where like during the pandemic, one of the our merchants, which we have interviewed lastly, it's that what they do is that they were doing like pop-up store, right? They were doing like bazaars and small exhibitions, but because of the pandemic, these events are prohibited, right? So their sales went to zero. So what they do is that in terms of surviving, in terms of to sustain the business, is that they go online, they explore EasyStore, and from that they have also seen a very significant increase in their sales as well, right? So other than that, besides only going online because of the pandemic, there's also business that are benefited during their online businesses with EasyStore as well, right? So one of the very good example is like Jiaxiang, okay? So they have been with us like for around 2 and 3 years already, and it's pretty obvious where they actually started this online business way before MCO actually happened, way before COVID actually appears, right? So what they do is that during the COVID period, they actually see 50% increase of their sales as well, right? Wow. Yeah. So that's like wow for everyone, wow for EasyStore as well. So even though comparing now with previous year, where Lennise has also mentioned that people have getting much more smarter in operating their businesses. So even though comparing the sales wasn't like that high previous year, but then they have already established their brand, their business to actually have merchants, to actually have customers coming in from Singapore, from Australia as well. So that's why they actually expanded their businesses like region outside from Malaysia as well. So I could say that it depends, like go back to the questions, it really depends on which stage. Like if you only started up, then maybe you should focus on awareness, on exposures, and then you focus on conversions, right? And then after conversions, then you focus on expansion as well. Yeah. So EasyStore come and facilitate each and every of these stages for businesses.
So for a F&B player that wants to go on digital, what would you say is the key factor, based on your experience in EasyStore? What would be the key factor that would determine the success of the F&B business?
Right. So in particular for F&B business,
Mm.
I would say it should be the packaging as well as manufacturing, right? So a lot of F&B businesses, we are actually they're actually producing, like Tommy, they're actually cooking their own food, right? So in order to determine the success of this, the key factor of it is that you should be able to distribute this worldwide. Like for example, what Jiaxiang have been doing is to sell to Singapore, to sell to Australia as well. So basically, you should be able to bundle your products like packaging, go out with frozen foods like what BMS Organic or even Mandarin Point is actually doing, which is they have their own frozen food and they can be delivered everywhere in the world as well, right? So this is one of the ways that businesses should actually look into, especially at F&B, where you can actually think of a way to actually make your business grow bigger, expand bigger as well. Yeah. And of course, by the end of the day, it's also how you want to treat your customers, right? So a lot of like every businesses, we all know that customers is, king and cash is king as well. So it really depends on how you want to give out your loyalty program, a very good promotions for your VVIP members, or how you want to create a prompt repeat purchase from customers. So this is all like the very key factor for F&B businesses to actually be successful as well.
I see. I'm very not to say surprised, but I really like the fact that when you reminded for F&B players out there, think regional and think global. So design your products in a way where it can be shipped globally. So that's another interesting thing, that the pandemic closed borders, but in some way it closed the borders, but in some way it has brought products to even more places out there. I think especially for people who are, let's say, stuck overseas, who miss Malaysian food or flavors. I have been seeing Jiaxiang's ads a lot, and I think if I'm stuck overseas, I would buy that as well, because it's really very homey, home cooked food.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Eric. Moving on to Tommy, just now you have shared a bit as well on your personal experience, and I think that's really, you are like the live case study right here, where you were forced to go on an F&B and it turned out well, surprisingly. So when you first started, even I believe that when you first started, there's definitely a lot of doubts and struggles. So as a F&B owner, what were some of your initial fears when you faced, as we talk about digitalizing your business, and what actually helped you to change and take that step onto digitalization as a F&B player?
In fact, if I look back, when I started the business, if I think of the fear and the challenges ahead, I wouldn't have started the business, because there are so many challenges ahead. Firstly, we started from home base. When you're talking about home base, how much can you cook? That is number one. And second, when you cook, how do you deliver to the people maybe 20, 30 kilometers away from the house? And for those people who wants to come to pick up their, what I call sambal petai, now you know that many places are gated and guarded community. So when they come to your house to pick it up, and that create a lot of inconveniences. Okay, so when you have many people want to order your food at 12 o'clock, okay, are you able to deliver it? So if I think of all kinds of this kind of challenge, I don't have a solution, because we are short-handed. Okay, only few of our team left behind, and then me and my wife who started. So my advice to those F&Bs owner who wants to start the business, just do it. Okay, one step at a time. Don't afraid to fall. When times come, you always have a solution. Like our business, we started from small, and then until we cannot cope with, we moved to a central kitchen, and then we find that we need people to order more conveniently. Then we embark on the software. When coming to the software, we need to find the right software. That also took us many days to find the right solution, until we ended up with EasyStore. Okay, to my surprise, it is very cost-effective solutions to me, because I own one travel agency with three websites. Each website cost me 30,000 to build. Okay, so three websites actually something about 100,000. So a customized website. When I came to F&B, I would definitely think that, that I'm going to have more customization. So how am I going to dump me more money to start a business? And yet my sambal petai is only selling at 20 ringgit. Okay, so how many thousands of sambal petais I need to sell? So that is a lot of challenges, but I don't afraid to all this fear, these challenges. I just do it one at a time. When times come, I will find a solution. I will find the solution until I overcome many solutions. And now I have my new product, which is the sambal petai pao. Okay, many people maybe have not tasted it, and some people say, since you have such a good sambal petai, why don't you make into a pao? Okay, I noticed there is one place in Seremban. There's one store every day. People are queuing up to buy the sambal petai pao. Why don't you try it? Then, okay, I will say, okay, let's do it. Then I bought a machine to do pao, and I bought a dough machine. Okay, and I bought a steamer. I bought everything, and it ended up, actually, I do not know how to make a pao. To make a pao, actually, it is so complicated. You need to, for those of here, if you have tried before, you know that actually the procedure to put the yeast to wait for the pao to be put in the steamer. Actually, there's so many steps which actually we did not know, have any knowledge at all. But we overcome one at a time, and finally now we came out a good eating sambal petai pao. So as Eric said, we have to come up a product that you can reach to the people further. So how to reach them, the people further, is a frozen solution. So we have come out a sambal petai pao in frozen, so whereby we can reach to the people outstation, or maybe in the very near future overseas, you know. So this is a Malaysian product, petai. Many people love it, and pao is a mixture. So which is to me is a very unique product, and not many people do it. Once you love it, you will love it. And also, I'm thinking for me to multiply my output, how can I do that? So we also came up with an idea to say, you will get your pao within 3 hours. Okay, when in Chinese we say pao tao. Okay, pao tao, that means guarantee arrive, but actually it's not a guarantee. Pao means the pao will arrive on within the next 3 hours. Why? It is because there are so many pink rider, green rider, and orange rider available in the market. So I make use of the vehicles and drop my pao to the nearest station. I pick up from my nearest hub. Okay, maybe in Kepong, and my base is in Puchong, so I can deploy the Kepong hub for them to pick up and deliver. So within the next 3 hours, actually within 1 hour, they already receive the pao. So that is my way of multiplying my sales. So in a frozen method, and then deliver in a very shortest time. So this is now what I can figure out to grow my pieces. Yeah.
Nice. And I really like your advice for everyone, which is just do it. Actually, no advice, just do it. Try and learn along the way as well. Yeah. And right now, obviously the digitalization transformation will continue to grow. So for Lennise, what are some of the trends that you foresee happening that we should watch out for as F&B players?
I think optimization of food production and also minimizing the wastage. That's something that from farm to fork, essentially, we see the supply chain gap becomes closer and closer. Businesses and retailers are able to source their goods directly from farmers and fishermen. You know, hopefully in the next 5 years, that's going to happen. That's able to happen. And the ones that are in between, they are able to either evolve their business into optimizing distribution or value add in some other way.
Okay, cool. And before that, I also want to encourage everyone, if you have any question, feel free to drop it in the Q&A box, and I'll ask those questions to the panelists. All right, thanks, Lennise. So what about Eric? What are some of the trends that you would foresee?
Well, definitely, automations, like where businesses have adopted to digital like solutions like Dropee as well as EasyStore. So I've also mentioned that how restaurants have already looking into digitalizing their menu and in serving their customers and all. And also I would say like also like just like I mentioned, frozen food, right? So for a lot of F&B businesses, not only for F&B businesses, but most of the businesses, we all wanted to grow business as a whole. We should grow, right? So we should expand and not only to stay in Malaysia as well, but also to deliver to have customers all around maybe Asia and around the world as well. So yeah, like I said, definitely the automations as well as the digitalization to actually help to ease the operations as well as the the whole process of the buying from the customers to the sellers as well.
I see. All right. Just wondering, yeah, Eric, this is personal question. So
Sure.
even internal operations is something that EasyStore also covers, is it?
Right. So okay. So what do we really cover is not only like the ordering system, right? But we also cover like inventory, which is very crucial when you are actually handling multiple sales channel, right? So we do not want you to log in, to this platform to manage, update your inventory, and then you have to do the same thing for the other 3 channels that you're handling, right? So basically, what we do is that we help you to synchronize the whole thing, inventory, the products, the orders, even the customers' details into one platform. And that's where you can actually, do everything in just one place. So save out a lot of your time, a lot of your effort, time is money. So it also save out your cost as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Tommy, you have any trends that you foresee as a new player in the market?
I would say that for those traditional offline F&B seller, do not wait. Quickly embark on the digital way to sell your F&B product. And one thing I would like to also bring out is because once the digital transformation is getting very common and very popular. So one thing that we have to ensure is the safe delivery of the food product, because we are delivering food from one end to the other end.
Yeah.
Why I brought out this issue is because there's one time that one of the rider, okay, opened up my food to consume before sending to the end user. So the end user snapped pictures to me and say, my gosh, so you have drank up of the bottle of my milk tea. So am I able to continue consume your sambal petai? So actually, very good question, and also is a very deep question that the vendor has to think of to protect, okay, the food, the safe eating, because when this is getting more and more popular, and you can see foods are flying from here to here, another place daily. Okay, so how do we give the confidence level for the consumer to consume?
Yeah.
So, I think we need to address this issue when times will come. So this has to be overcome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think this is also one of the challenge in this industry that is sometimes a bit hard to control because so many different parties are involved as well. So yeah, as vendors, it is important for us to ensure that packaging is safe and the food is safe for the clients as well. So that's a very good point. Thanks for bringing it out, Tommy. Okay, from some question from the participants, Shan is asking, do we ever tap on halal market with a bigger market share? Maybe for Tommy, you want to take this question?
I will always love to move on to halal. That will be my next phase of project, because to go for halal certification, it is not it is easy, but to have a kitchen that with the halal certified, actually you need to spend some money on that. It is not on the application itself, which, because we started home based, as I always say, we need to do things one step at a time. When times will come, this will come. Maybe early of next year. So when we are more stabilized, so we will embark on the halal, and then we will make the halal sambal petai series of product.
Nice, that's nice. What about on Lenise's side? Yeah, I'm also curious from the clients that Dropee is handling and managing. Do you see, because I've read some article that, I mean, Malaysia is one of the biggest distributor for halal product throughout the whole world. And yes, and
our halal certificate is one of the best, or at least the most strict one, in the world. Yeah.
So in this period of pandemic, have you seen any trends? Like, is there a increase in demand? Because Dropee, you kind of like manage all these, right? Can you share some of your insights from Dropee?
Yeah, so I think like definitely there's an increase, especially before festive seasons like Ramadan period or Raya seasons, right? But there's a huge demand moving forward for cross border as well, right? So when we're talking about like how do you prepare producers of halal products from Malaysia to export out to different markets, for countries like Japan, the Saudis and the rest, right? How are you able to do so in the most optimal way? So the best way is to actually be able to predict the demand first, right? And using from that insight starts projecting like how much are you able to produce beforehand, before those peak periods and whatnot. And the only way for you to do so is to actually digitize that process. So in order to actually start being able to see analytical trends and predict from there. So we started seeing a lot of manufacturers, a lot of like key wholesalers and regional distributors starting to do so. This has been, an interesting market. So stay tuned,
Great. Thanks so much, Lennise. Joshua has a question for Eric. It says, is shipping process managed by EasyStore as well?
Yes, that's a very good question. Yes, basically in a way, you can actually you can actually fulfill or process your order in EasyStore. That also includes your shipping processes. So what we do is that we actually partner up with like logistic partners like Easy Parcel, Lala Move, Ninja Vans, and all sorts, DHL, to actually have their solutions to be incorporated within EasyStore, right? So you do not have to, like, whenever you want to ship something, you do not have to like log out or just to log in to Lala Move per se, Lala Move account to process the order. Okay, so you can actually do it in EasyStore as well. Of course, for F&B moving forward, we also like would like to have like Grab or even Foodpanda to be available in EasyStore, which is also included into our roadmap as well.
I see. So most of the things are already kind of like joined and automated.
Yes, like payments, like logistics. So it's like all-in-one solutions.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Hope that answer your question, Joshua. From Chin Fu Kui, the question is, do you ever consider environmental friendly packaging in your future digital business module? I believe probably this is a question for Exabyte, but I think it's a interesting topic as well for us to cover, where currently environmental friendly packaging is something that a lot of businesses are striving for. In the whole process of fulfillment and distribution, definitely a lot of waste has been created in some way. And I think probably let's hear from Tommy if you have any thoughts on this in the process of, because there's like bubble wrap involved and things like that. What are some of your observation in this area? Do you think there is are you hopeful that we can move towards a greener supply chain, a greener process of distribution for Tommy?
Yes, I'm definitely would love to see this innovation out, but unfortunately now there is still no solutions at the moment. What I can currently do to overcome, just now to address my issues on people drinking my milk tea. Okay, so what I did, my sambal petai, immediately I transformed to a vacuum pack and seal it. Okay, technology. We got a machine and did the vacuum pack and frozen it, so nobody can open it along the way. So to do the vacuum pack, actually, this is the solution at the moment that we have. But in future, so any more solution to come out yet, we are yet to see. But definitely, we need to adapt to the new change. But currently, I do not see a good solution for the greener way to solve it.
Yeah. I do agree with Tommy, because currently for Picha Eats, we are also going into frozen food. So we have fresh meals prepared, frozen in a box, and you can just, microwave and eat when you are busy. And we have been trying to shift away from plastic, but the only way that we can vacuum pack stuff and dead seal it is with plastic. So right now we are still kind of like in the middle. We are using like a bamboo based packaging, but with a plastic top, because there's no way you cannot use plastic as of now. Which definitely, if there is any new innovation that you see, please send them our
Contact us.
way. Yes, please send them our way. We would love to. For Eric and Lennise, any input on this topic, or should we go on to the next question?
Not much input. I think like, on B2B side, the very first step to actually changing to be more environmental friendly is reduce the number of papers that are being printed. You'll be so surprised at how many like catalogs that like brands such as Nestle, Unilever, and the rest, right? You're printing like heaps. Fax is still the machine of today. Can you imagine? I can't imagine 10 years from now, right? The millennials are going into a workforce still using fax machine. It's time to be woke, guys.
Understand. All right. We have a question for Yong Liang Tan, which I think Eric can take this question. So for wholesaler that move to online platform, is the product selling price still the same as offline? As most people have the mindset of buying from online is much cheaper than buying in store. Probably Eric and Lennise can both take this.
Yeah. Right. So I think I'll go first. So basically, of course, it really depends on how you want to set it, right? Because in EasyStore, like I said, you can change like whatever. Like for example, it actually relates to your product details, right? So pricing is one of the product details. So if you want to actually sell much cheaper, comparing with what you sell offline, of course, you can do it online as well. And it's also much more convenient for, like, for example, if you're resellers or for customers to actually place an order online as a wholesaler from you as well. So yeah, like if it really depends on how you want to charge them, and that's why we also come up with features like having different pricing in different platforms, like for example Shopee and Lazada as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, my advice for that, it depends on the objective that you're planning, right? Out of digitizing your wholesale operations. If the aim is to actually get more sales, or at least like to enable more of your offline customers to place orders online, I would highly recommend, and this is something that we do with many of our clients, right, who first adopt our solution. First things first is that to actually reduce or to create a trade promotion that is specifically for online only. So this gives them the hook for your offline customers to normalize placing their orders online rather than texting or waiting for the sales agents to visit their stores. So you need to create habits here. You need to get the feedback of your customers, right? How are they actually performing? How are they faring in terms of placing the orders online? And then only from there, you can start, doing multiple or customizing your pricing just based on however you see fit.
All right. I see Lauren on the screen.
Yes, we actually have a question from Facebook. This one is for Lennise. So the question is, what kind of investment is required to start using Dropee service for a business the size of a mini market, for example, a 7-Eleven shop? Can you give us a ballpark figure?
Oh, it starts as low as 600 ringgit. So if you guys are, you want to know more, feel free to just find me on LinkedIn or drop me an email. It's Lennise, LENNISE @dropee.com.
All right, super cool. Suzanne, back to you.
All right, thank you. I have one last question before we close off. Today we discussed a lot about the misconception, the different system that we can actually tap on in order to help us in digitalization. Then I guess it comes the next big question from a lot of business owner, which is where will the sales come from, right? Like what are some of the sales effort that needs to be done? How do we do marketing? Or is it that we list on EasyStore and the sales will come naturally? So probably if Eric, Tommy, and Lennise can share some of the things that your successful clients have done so that everyone can learn on a different level from a F&B owner, from EasyStore, and then from Dropee that handles like bigger wholesale items. So Tommy, why not you go first?
Yeah, from the start, how I started off my business after making the end product of sambal petai, we posted to many food groups. Okay, hoping that people will love to order. To my surprise, yes, people do order. And the second group of sales came from my friend, because I also posted in my own FB and also attracted some of the sales to come in. So after a while, that we also think that it's time to do some boasting on the Facebook. Okay, then we started to do. That's why I always say one thing, one step at a time. So after doing this, and then what is next? So we do the posting in FB, and then we think that we need a brand. Okay, we need a brand. When you do a F&B product, whether you are a pakwa or you are a pakute or whatever, you always need a brand. Okay, from the brand, we have a Facebook. After that, you need a website. Okay, so when you need a website, that's how we've ended up with EasyStore. So with all this vehicle ready, then you start to do Facebook marketing on Instagram, on FB, and then perhaps some Facebook Live, okay, to show how to cook a good sambal petai product. So that's how we came along the way. And firstly, normal posting to Facebook, and then a website, okay, with a good branding, and then ended up where we are now. And then of course the product, we shouldn't stop at only one single product. As I say, me with only one sambal petai, I cannot be keep asking my friend every week also order sambal petai from me. So they need to try something else. Okay, this week you try sambal petai paste. Okay, the next week you try the sambal petai rice. Another week you try sambal petai pao. So I need to come up something. Why? You can see always I move around within my same sambal product, because sambal is my core product. If I make another product which is not as good taste as my origin core product, then actually it will mess up your product. People might say, your sambal is good, your other is sucks. So try to be careful on that. Always focus on your core product and come up with few more product that you are more confident of, and then make use of the social medias, okay, and then to create more awareness, the sales will come. Most important, keep improving your taste and the product quality, and get more feedback, more review. If people tell you that your sambal petai is very spicy, think of it. Do we need to drop the level of spiciness? And if people say it's too sweet, then you need to do something. So keep improving on the taste of the product. Eventually, you'll get more and more sales coming in. That actually has proven from the EasyStore order coming in on a daily basis. Yeah.
I see. Tommy, do you see a lot of returning clients?
When I started, no. To be honest, no. Now, yes. Why is that? Because I always, this is my observation.
Yeah.
People would think, I always think that samba is my core product. Petai is not my core product. For those petai lovers, I'm not so sure how many petai lovers here. Actually, petai, there's two types. Okay, after I embark on this business, now I learn petai, there's two, one from Thailand, one from local. Okay, and actually Chinese, or I would say most Malaysians love to eat the local petai instead of the Thailand. Okay, so that is why once I started to use the local petai, which is double the cost of Thailand petai, and my sales keep coming in. Okay, that is why now I notice not only a sambal is the core product, sambal petai must be your core product. So people love your sambal, but they don't like your petai, useless. Your sales won't come back. I have a good combination. Now the sales keep coming back because of the petai. Now I realize.
Nice. So I think a recap of Tommy sharing, it's a combination of your own connection and then moving on to social media, some digital ads, and most importantly, a good product that the market loves, that they keep coming back. And I think for food, the truth is word of mouth sometimes does the best actually. Word of mouth will spread out and then that's where the sales will come. So thanks, Tommy. And for Eric?
Yes, I actually totally agree with what you said about word of mouth, because basically it's what a brand would actually need, right? So in order for like throughout the experience that I've worked with the merchants throughout the years, so it's really the question of trial and error, right? It could be your ads is doing really great, or it could be your business page, or it could be you are already a well-known brand before you would even move online, right? So all these kind of factors could really affect your sales moving into digitalizations. And also, of course, one of the very obvious example is that to build a good brand, right? So from that, of course, you can actually, when people know about you and like told me you have repeat customers, then from there, your sales will keep on and keep on and keep on repeating and increasing as well. But of course, like for most of the startups, like when you wanted to sell from the start, I think like for most of the F&B, you should pretty much give out like free tryouts, right? Like what Tommy would share it to his friends about, I would like to just give me some feedbacks about this food and how I should improve from that. And that's also how Dropee peanut butter actually started from there, right? So they're actually giving out, tryouts, giving out samples to people on the bus, to people on the malls. And that's why they actually gradually, expanded our business, established our business to the size that they are here right now as well. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's really about how you want to navigate your business into, like, for example, ads, or you want influencer marketing, or you have a very good big group of network in your Facebook community, share it to F&B groups. So yeah, and of course in EasyStore we also facilitate some of these tools for you, like for example Google Ads as well as Facebook Pixels, to actually help you to analyze and have you to do better decision, better performance strategies in the future as well.
Nice. All right. So from Eric's side, there's a mix of, depending on your brand, just to recap, depending on your brand, you can choose to go offline, you can choose to go with influencer, ads, Facebook community, because depending on what your product is, that's how you can decide where to go for. And finally, we have Lennise to wrap up.
Yeah. So I think, everyone, both Eric and Tommy said really good points, right? But just to wrap it up, make sure that your online and offline presence is also connected and is the same, right? Your message is consistent. I think there's a lot of potentially, not saying now, right, but potentially there could be a problem where your online branding and offline branding is totally different. And I think your team needs, like when you actually implement digital solutions and you're expanding your business to e-commerce, it is extremely important for you to ensure that the consistency of how your customer perceive your products, both online and offline, they can get the similar experience despite whichever channels they reach out to you. So yeah, and I think that is also something that's very interesting for a lot of brands and businesses can explore. This is also something that, perhaps another day we can deep dive into this session, future exabytes topic, key in and put in your reviews here. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lennise. I really agree. And I wanna add on to what Lennise was saying about the consistency between branding for online and offline. I think that itself, a lot of time branding is not just what we talk about our brand. Branding is about how people perceive you. So that comes through the experience, the product quality, and all that. And I think one of the few pretty good example of a consistent online and offline experience, one of the restaurants around, I guess a lot of people know, is Strangers at 47. They have always been taking pride in their customer experience, so that when people walk into their cafe, they will always, bring an extra chair and say, do you want to put your bag here? It's always about customer experience. And when they move online during the pandemic, what I heard over like a sharing is that they made sure that this experience can be conveyed even virtually. So it can be through Instagram. When someone drop a message, they reply the way that they should. And even when they send a delivery, they have like a special card that says, hope you have a great day. It's like a cute little comic thing. So I think that's really interesting in how do you make sure that the experience online is consistent as offline, and how do you still bring that human touch even though it is becoming virtual. It can be an extra note, it can be an extra message to ask for feedback. All these little human touch will still bring out the side of the brand that I believe as an F&B player is still very important, even though we go digital. So I think to wrap up for today's session, we have debunked a few misconceptions. The first is that going digital doesn't need to be expensive. You can find the right partner and the right platform and the right system that fits your need, and that doesn't have to be expensive. expensive. So hint, Dropee, EasyStore, go check them out. And going digital also doesn't mean that you must have like a digital team in your company, because again, there is a lot of easy solutions out there. And what you need to do is to find these solutions, kind of pick and choose what is needed for you, and kind of, you know, work out the flow together, and that itself can help you to go digital. And finally, when you go digital, how do you get sales? How do you market yourself? It can be through multiple channels. It can be through social media, offline to online. It can be through influencers, and most importantly is to make sure that your branding offline and online is consistent, so that the whole customer experience, no matter from your traditional setting or the digital space right now, is the same. So I would say, yeah, that's a wrap for today's panel discussion. And thank you so much again to Lennise, Eric, and Tommy for joining us today. Thank you, Exabytes, for having us. Thank you so much.
And of course, thank you, Suzanne. You have been fantastic. A wonderful job moderating the session today. I'm sure everyone can agree. Thank you so, so much. It was so wonderful. All right, 2 thumbs up for you guys. Thank you so much for all the input. It was absolutely wonderful to watch y'all, and we hope to see y'all again. Obviously, we will, because it's Exabytes. We love having you guys back. So take care. Till then, I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Stay safe, all.
Bye.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.